Welcome, everybody, to the Early Edge and to Sunday Brunch. FYI, I know what people want to know. We're 32 days away from NFL kickoff, which means 20 days away from college football kickoff. Let's kick off how we did yesterday. A nice day for the brand. Look at the right side of this screen. AB 3-0, Danny Brasco 3-0. Love to see that. And I got to say, when AB goes 3-0, listen, he was going to be on the show anyway, but let's bring him right back in. We've got a packed crew today. I mean, this is really an all-star Sunday crew. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Speaking of 32, before I get into this, guys, if you have a favorite 32 from the NFL, type it into the chat because there are so many great 32s. Jim Brown, to name one, Franco Harris. So those are some of the old school ones. And Alex Proppy, you've got your hand up. Do you have a favorite 32 as well?
I do have a favorite 32. Shout out to my guy, Honey Badger, Tyron Matthew, my favorite present 32 in the NFL as we approach closer and closer day by day. I am so fired up, as I know everybody else is as well, for the NFL season.
Yeah, well, we got Marcus Allan nominations in the chat. Ricky Waters, boy, do I love that nomination right there. All right, speaking of nominations, we have a really cool pick a parlay prop that I haven't seen before. Maybe it's been on the show when I haven't been here, but I think this is really cool. And there's one of these I really like. So these are same game parlays, and I'll just read them out real quick. Aaron Judge, 2+ total bases, and the Yankees team total over 3.5 at +140. Ohtani, 2+ total bases, and the Angels team total over 4.5 at +170. And Freddie Freeman, 2+ total bases, and the Dodgers team total over 4.5 at +195. Now, Allan, I'm going to go right to you. You're red hot fire. Yes, that's redundant, but I'm going to say it again. You're red hot fire right now. I know you got a bunch of picks for us later in the show, but which one of these picks do you like?
Yeah, so first off, I can't believe we didn't have any O.J. Simpson shout-outs in the chat there on 32. All right, that's a terrible joke. Anyways, look, we're going to go to Freddie Freeman here. I want to go Shohei Ohtani. Like, I kind of like all three of these because all three hitters, quite frankly, are due. But I'm going to go to Freddie Freeman here, 2+ total bases, Dodgers team total over 4.5. They've got to get something going. Their offense has just kind of found themselves a little stale the last couple games here. But again, I think if you're looking for anybody to kind of bounce it back, like all three of these are not bad options. But I'm going to go Freddie here.
Yeah, Sniper, I'm going to go to you next. But before I do that, said Benson nominations in the chat. Edgerrin James, love those two as well. Sniper, which one of these three same game parlays do you like?
Okay, first of all, I don't like the Cedric Benson at all. No, Edge is good though. Edge is good. I'm on Shohei Ohtani here, facing a righty in Bryce Miller from the Mariners. He eats righties for breakfast, and Bryce Miller has a 6.39 ERA in his last 10 starts. He got off to a great start to his career for the Mariners here in his first 5 starts this season, but his last 10 he's been brutal. So Ohtani against the righty, against a guy who's not going well at all, and then maybe that kind of gets the rest of the team going. They could use a little bump right now.
Yeah, and Proppy, I'm going to go to you next, but I got to say, of these three, I kind of agree with AB that I like all three. But for me, it's Aaron Judge. I mean, I just love the matchup with Urquidy, who we haven't seen pitch in a little while in his minor league stints. They haven't been great either. So I just think Aaron Judge at +140 with that team total. Spoiler alert, this might be implicated in my pick later on. But Proppy, which one of these three do you like?
I like all three quite a bit as well. I think they're all solid, honestly. But I'm going to go with the Dodgers here. Like the Dodgers quite a bit tonight as well. But yeah, I think Freddie Freeman, the lefty-on-lefty matchup, like that quite a bit. And I think the Dodgers are going to potentially have a lot of success. So yeah, I'll take the Dodgers.
Yeah, a couple potential spoiler alerts baked into this same game parlay matchup. Okay, we are going to get to something everybody really loves called Pick the Prop. Unfortunately, Buckets isn't here, but we do have some other experts to manage the home run props. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reaction.
The largest final round comeback in Ford championship history. We're down to the final 4.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
I see Josh Lucero. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It might be Lucero in the chat. He says Judge and the Yanks for me on the same game parlay. And I'm pointing out Josh specifically because he's started to put out some plays on Twitter. He's trying to do his thing, and props to you for getting that started, Josh. And hopefully you're right about the Aaron Judge and the Yankees, because that will benefit all of us in a couple of different ways, perhaps. Before we get to pick the prop, real quick, we've got the early edge HQ schedule, and one of our own right here on this show, the Sniper, Matt Snyder, will be on that show at 12 p.m. That's obviously just in a couple hours. He will be joined by Kenny White and Emery Hunt. That's going to be great. We're going to obviously talk some baseball there, but Emery Hunt's in there, so you know you're going to be talking some NFL as well, as you see with the logo next to Emery's name. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to pick the prop. Let's get this prop up before we finally get to our picks. We got a lot of people on here. We squeezed Jorge Soler on here at plus 250. That's paying homage to buckets, of course. We got Alex Bregman at plus 400, Corey Seager plus 450, Dansby Swanson at plus 500, and then Mookie Betts at plus 500. Sniper, I'm going to start with you here. Which one of these five guys do you like?
I'm going to latch on to Alex Bregman there in Yankee Stadium. He had 6 home runs in a 12-game stretch through July 29th. He has 0 since then, so, a little bit of, hey, he's due. Also facing a lefty in Carlos Rodon, who has allowed 6 home runs in his 24 and a third innings so far this season. I will go with Bregman here, but it's a little reluctant. I looked at Seager. I looked at Swanson. Dansby's actually been pretty hot with a power bat so far. I ended up on Bregman, but I'm good with several of these.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Sniper, on Alex Bregman. I think there's going to be some runs in this game, this Astros-Yankees game, which, by the way, starts at 1:35, I believe, Eastern Standard Time. I really like the matchup for both of these teams, against Rodon and against Urquidy. So like Bregman at plus 400 there. AB, I'm going to go to you next. Which one of these five guys do you like?
Yep. All right. So in honor of the greatest movie of all time, all right, Markinson's gone. There is no Markinson. And that's the same way Jorge Soler is going to be treating the ball at the plate today. 1, I think your boy's going to mash. Number 2, give it a shout out to our boy Buckets here. I know that's his guy, Solar Power. Yeah, we're going to go with him. Jorge Soler going yard today.
One of the most underrated lines in the best movie of all time. That is an all-timer right there. If you know what movie AB was just referencing, type it into the chat. Just the best movie ever. Proppy, we've got a couple of votes here, actually a few, including mine. Who do you got?
I'll take Corey Seager here. I think he's one of the most underrated bats in all of Major League Baseball. His back looks just as good after that stint on the DL, so I will take Seager going against Sandy Alcantara.
Okay. Well, we got our home run prop picks out of the way. The only thing left to do, of course, is to go to our actual picks, our official plays. But before we do that, one more message from our partners.
It's time. The best Transformers yet.
There you go.
Is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
This is going to be fun, man. Now that's top tier manifestation.
Transformers Rise of the Beast. Rated PG-13. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
And the chat is on fire. Of course, A Few Good Men is the reference. We've got DB Cooper in here saying Chase Elliott for the win. I'm sure we have some picks for this NASCAR race on SportsLine. So if you're not a SportsLine member, make sure you join. It's great right now, and it's going to be even better as we approach football season.
Go ahead, real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I mean, shout out to SportsLine and you hosting the show that you have found DB Cooper. The federal government couldn't do it for 30 years. You found him in one Sunday morning. So congratulations. Well done.
So for those of you that don't know that reference, I believe the documentary is on Netflix as we speak, right, Allan? On DB Cooper and just his whereabouts and that whole story. It was actually really compelling watching that documentary. So if you haven't seen it already, check that one out. Well, what you haven't seen is my pick yet. So I've been kind of dancing around it this entire show, and I'm going to keep it kind of short because I think we've touched on it quite a bit here already in terms of just the metrics and the stats we're looking for and the pitchers we're looking to fade. I'm taking the Astros-Yankees first 5. We've hit 4 of these in a row. Listen, a couple of my golf bets haven't hit over the last couple of days, but the first 5 stay hot. We're not picking a side here. We're going over 4.5 minus 130. Astros Yankees first 5 over 4.5 minus 130. You'll see this at 5 at certain places like DraftKings, where I think it's at minus 110. If you can shop around and get this at 4.5, which is where it is at FanDuel right now, I do like that, but honestly, at 5, I kind of like it too. So I'm okay taking it at 5. You're just kind of playing the push a little bit there as well. But I am fading these pitchers. Rodon has not been good. The Astros very good against lefties. And on the other side of it, Urquidy is just he hasn't been good all season. He hasn't pitched in about, I think 60 days now. And even in his minor league starts, he has not looked good. So I think this Yankees lineup, which is very cold at times, I think they are going to sort of have a respite from their cold bats facing Urquidy here. So I really like the over 4.5 here. I could see this game at the end of 5 being like 4-4, 4-3. I think the bats are going to come alive on both sides of it. So give me Astros Yankees first 5 over 4.5. And that's my play. I did have a lean in golf, Cam Davis over Sung J M at plus money. But honestly, the way this golf tournament has gone, I just don't have high confidence in it. So it's just a lean. I also have a lean in another baseball play, but it's kind of going to be covered later on in this show. So Sniper, I'm going to you next. You've got a couple of picks here, a first 5 included. So I have high confidence that these are going to come in as well. So Sniper, the floor is yours.
You've inspired me, man. So we're going to get to the first 5 in a second. We'll start with Tyler Glasnow of the Rays. Over 8.5 strikeouts. He's actually had 63 strikeouts in his last 7 games, and that's in only 43 and a third innings. So he might not even have to get deep in this one. He's facing the Tigers. They strike out a lot. They strike out a lot, especially against righties. They are 6th in the majors in strikeout percentage against right-handed pitching, and it's plus money. So I really like the spot there for Tyler Glasnow. Also, Diamondbacks first 5. We're going to need them to be leading by it's a half run anyway. I honestly, I don't understand this. I know there's a push factor in there, but to get the minus 0.5, it always kind of confuses me because I'm taking the Diamondbacks to lead after 5 anyway. Anyway, that gets the odds down. I can't trust them in a full game because they've been one of the worst teams in baseball, actually the worst team in baseball since July 1st. They're 7-21, but Zach Gallen, the Twins haven't seen him since 2019. He's a good enough pitcher, even if he's been a little mediocre the last 2 months. He's a good enough pitcher overall that since they haven't seen him in so long, he probably will have good success 2 times through the order. That's why I like the first 5. And also, Dallas Keuchel is taking the mound for the Twins. He has been brutal since 2020, a 5.28 ERA in 2021 and 9.20 ERA last season for 3 different teams, completely bounced around. This is his first start in the majors since last season. I like the Diamondbacks to knock him around the first time through. And again, Zach Gallen a couple times through. So first 5 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you say Dallas Keuchel's name, and I bet a lot of people in the chat are like, oh, he's still in the league. I didn't know that. And so I just think that's a really good find. There are justifications for taking the minus a half with confidence. And I think this is one of them when you've got a guy like Zach Gallen against, of all people, Dallas Keuchel. I mean, listen, EC isn't on the show, but I might have some sort of money line parlay thrown in with the Diamondbacks involved as well, because I really, really like that play. AB, here's what I also like. This is just an interesting fact about you. You always have to outdo, not us, but yourself, right? Because you go 3-0 yesterday and you're like, all right, well, 3-0 is good, but what if I went 4-0? Talk to us.
4-0 would be nice. Now, let me tell you this, D. I tell you what we're going to do here. First off, all right? So if we go 3-1 or better, okay? Everyone right now in the chat, type Sia. That's all you got to type, SIA, type Sia. If we go 3-1 or better, I will give out some SportsLine subscriptions for every win that we get. So essentially either 3 or 4. Now, to also celebrate that, okay, and to celebrate the picks today, Sia, we actually have a surprise from someone that wanted to call in and give a shout out here to the Early Edge. So Snake, hit that for me.
I miss you so much, and thank you to the Early Edge crew for having me. Baby, tell them our Braves picks today. See you soon, love. Hi, Allan, it's Taylor. I miss you so much, and thank you to the Early Edge crew for having me. Baby, tell them our Braves picks today. See you soon, love.
There we go. All right, so appreciate that, Taylor, for calling in there. Kind of missed up on the front end of that one, but again, she just wanted to call in, say hello, to the Early Edge crew. And I tell you, you want some Braves picks? Here we go. Let's start off first. Austin Riley. All right, yesterday we played him for over half a single. Got that in the 9th. Quite frankly, we were unbelievably lucky to get that one there. We're going to take it over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 130. Okay. Now, next, we're going to go Matt Olson. We're taking him to hit one single today, priced nicely at plus 140. Look, going up against Justin Steele. Yeah, I mean, your boy can throw, right? So I don't want to get too crazy. Don't want to push it too much, but I believe that we get a single out of Olsen on this. Now we're going to jump to the other side. Cody Bellinger. We're going to play him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 105. Here's the deal. I was kind of going back and forth. Cody Bellinger, Dansby Swanson. Cody Bellinger, Dansby Swanson. Swanson is mashing. But you know what? Bellinger is just getting hit after hit after hit after hit in games, and he is seeing the ball well. We don't need a ton. Sitting here at 1.5. Let's get that and knock it out. But I would love Snyder's thoughts there on Dansby Swanson as well, because he is mashing. All right, now, last one. We already talked about it. Jorge Soler, all right, going at yard today. I'm just going to tell you, he is going to have a massive, massive game today. We're going to take him over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, minus 125. Very simple play here. We don't need a ton. All right, he can get this off of runs. He can get this off of RBIs. You name it, but Soler going to have a big one today.
All right, Soler making yet another appearance on the show. Sniper, real quick response. How do you feel about the Dansby Swanson chatter from AB?
Well, he's really locked in with his power stroke. 4 home runs in the last 5 games, and a lot of the outs he's been making have been like warning track flies or hitting it really hard at somebody. He's in a zone right now, so not necessarily the same zone that maybe Billy Hoyle was in when he was, taking part in the basketball tournament. But he is in a zone right now in terms of the power.
Billy Hoyle and Sidney Dean. If you know that reference, I want you to type that movie in the chat as well.
I'm in a zone, man.
I'm in a zone. I can hear Jimmy. I can also hear Proppy. And what's really funny is I look at this pick, Proppy, and I think to myself, I almost had this pick for myself. I was going to have 2 picks tonight. They were both going to be first fives, mind you. So it's a little different what you have. But I really like this play, and I like it even more that you like it. So talk to us about the Dodgers.
Yeah, I'm going to back the Dodgers on the money line here. You get a good price on them. Facing the Padres, a little NL West showdown. Lance Lynn versus Rich Hill. Lance Lynn struggled this season, but he actually looked pretty good in his first start with the Dodgers. Carried a shutout into the 6th inning. Only had 1 walk. He's had control issues all year. Then the Dodgers facing lefty Rich Hill. I think they're one of the best hitting teams. The numbers would suggest this as well against opposing southpaws. Rich Hill has an ERA of nearly 6 since July 1st as well. So I think the Dodgers are going to provide Lance Lynn with plenty of run support. I think Lance Lynn's also going to have a strong outing, as he has actually pretty good career results against the Padres projected lineup as well. So I'll take a shot on the Dodgers on the money line around minus 120.
Yeah, I mean, I like the first 5 as well as a strong lean for me, which I believe is probably in that minus 130 range. I mean, like Proppy alluded to, Lynn, he played the A's, mind you, his first start for the Dodgers, but he looked pretty good, and I'm more willing to fade Rich Hill and the Padres than I am Lance Lynn and the Dodgers when it comes down to it. Rich Hill, does anybody want to? AB, I want you to go, but before you go, do you want to guess Rich Hill's age?
Ooh, I have no idea. That's a good question. I don't know.
Proppy?
42.
He's 43.
Damn.
Oh, Sniper knew it. Sniper, I'm sorry. I should have gone to you. 43 years old.
It's okay.
We're talking like Phil Niekro, like who else pitched? Like Jamie Moyer.
It's easy for me on Rich Hill because he's essentially my age, because while I rode the bench at Indiana, he was actually on Michigan.
There you go.
Rode the bench at Indiana in what sport? Sniper?
Baseball.
I didn't know that. Well, good for you. That sounds pretty strong. AB, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask it, and this is for the panel. Any of you guys, you were just talking about, fading pitchers. What do we do with Morton today for the Braves? I mean, he was absolutely shelled his last time out. I mean, awful, right? Like, I can't get a read on if he's going to bounce back. The Cubs are notoriously bad on Sundays for some weird reason.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is like, I mean, it's uncanny weird.
I would trust Morton through two times through the order. Get it through the 4th, maybe the 5th, and then maybe the Cubs bats wake up after that. I would, if they're first 3, I would go under on any Cubs line in the first 3 today.
Let's go.
Yeah, Morton was a play I looked at last night, and I think I wasn't highly confident in it, but I would go first 5 Braves as a lean there. Proppy, what say you on that one?
I like Morton as well. Actually, I like his outs line at 15.5 over. I agree with Sniper regarding him getting through the lineup twice. I think he's got a good shot to go at 15.5 outs as well.
All right, if that's the case, then maybe that first five's in play. Go ahead, AB.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say we were just talking about Sundays. The Cubs are 4-14 on Sundays this year. Like, I know that the show is not a big like follow every trend, like all of that. 4-14 is crazy. Now, I don't know. I mean, Snyder, you would know better than me. Maybe they have, it's that transitional day, right, where you're getting ready for the next series and you're sitting guys. I don't know.
I've tried to, as a Cubs fan, I've tried to figure it out, and I can't. Like, I think it's probably just an anomaly, but it's when it's 4-14, it's not like 2-4. Like it gets to a point where you're like, all right, this is a trend now. It's actually something that there's something behind it, but there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Other than
it makes no sense.
There's no decent explanation. So they just lose a lot on Sunday for some reason.
Well, I think that'll close it. I got Rob Tharuka, who says Mac McClung in the chat. Georgetown product. I'm a big Georgetown Hoyas fan. Texas Tech, of course. Dunk contest. I just love random references, so I had to bring that up. The chat, you guys were so great today. Proppy, one more thing. What you got?
I think Mac McClung is 32. That's why he's referencing him.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That makes way more sense. Okay. Well, we're just talking NFL guys. You should have gone more obscure like Rudy Johnson. Kevin Barlow. Do you all remember Kevin Barlow?
Jeremy
It looked like
Stewart.
he was wearing like 7 extra pads. Who?
Jeremy Stewart. Do you remember him? He was a running back that played for the Raiders. Only played like one season. I think he maybe played on the Cardinals afterwards, but he was one of my favorite number 32s as well. Shout out Stanford alum Jeremy Stewart as well.
Wow.
Look, we've got to stick with Edgerrin James though, because it's early edge. So
that's a great point, Sniper. That's a great point.
Well done.
Yeah. See, that's what you're going to get on the Sunday brunch right there. Thank you, Sniper. Thank you, Proppy. Thank you, AB. Let's take a look at the recap screen before we get out of here. I've got the Astros-Yankees first 5 over 4.5 at -130. I'll play it at 5, but obviously if you can get 4.5, that's great. Propstarz is on the Dodgers money line -120. I like the Dodgers first 5 there as well as a pretty strong lean. That's the Sunday night ESPN game, everybody. So you have some time on that one. Sniper, Tyler Glasnow over 8.5 Ks at +105. And the D-backs first 5 -0.5 at -115. And then AB, Jorge Soler over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at -125. Cody Bellinger over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at -105. Austin Riley over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs at -130. And don't forget, he had a lean towards Dansby Swanson, it sounded like. Matt Olson over half a single at +140. Ladies and gentlemen, what a Sunday brunch. What a packed show with picks, with home run picks, with same-game parlays, with White Men Can't Jump and a few good men references, 2 of my favorite movies of all time. This is like my day. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate everybody on this panel, including, of course, AB, Proppy, and Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s. And I left Sniper for last because we didn't see much of Miserable Sniper or Miserable Matt, and I wanted him to maybe put a frown on his face real quick for once on today's show. Listen, that's all the damage we can do today. So there's only one thing left to do, and I love doing this. I know I'm stealing it from Coach, but I love doing it. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets, and there's a lot of them, straight over here to the pay window. For Proppy, for AB, for the Sniper, and for Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s and 11s and 12s. I am your counselor, and we rest our case.